revolutionize your life. Over the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to share with you the real reason most people don't achieve the goals they set out to achieve. And that real reason may surprise you. You see, I've helped thousands of people achieve real success in life. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about successful relationships, top-notch health, and happiness as well. And in my over 25 years of helping people, many who are probably just like you, I've learned that true success in life boils down to just, watch closely, 3. How many? 3 simple secrets. And once you know these 3 secrets, you can systematically move towards having everything you want in your life. And you can do it quickly too, good or good. So would you agree that learning these 3 secrets is worth devoting the next few minutes of your time to? If you're serious about having the best life possible, I sure hope you said yes. Now, before I continue though, please do us both a favor because what I'm going to share with you is really important. In fact, if you really listen to what I reveal to you, and if you take the actions that I recommend, this could be the most important information you ever hear. Tall words, I know. But what is more important than living a happy, healthy, and successful life? So the favor I'm asking is this. Please pay close attention. Please shut down any distractions like Facebook or email. And also, please grab a pen and paper to take some notes. Why? Because when you write down what you're learning here, you're going to retain it much, much better. Yes or yes. And if you do that, you're going to have the best chance of actually using, what's the word? Using what I teach you to drastically improve the quality of your life, good or good. All right, so with that handled, do you mind if I tell you a quick story? It's the tale of 2 high school friends. One beautiful spring day, these 2 friends met in a park. We'll call these friends Tom and John. This wasn't a normal meeting of friends. You see, it had been exactly 22, how many? 22 years since Tom and John had seen each other, and each was afraid that the other wouldn't even show up. But yet, here they were. You know, in high school, Tom and John were best of friends. They were alike in every way. They even shared the same birthday. Tom, well, he was the all-star quarterback of the football team. And John, well, he was the best receiver on that team. And both were tall, athletic, and good-looking. Each had a steady girlfriend. Each did really well in school. They both had parents who were supportive and who had the money to send them to good colleges. Everyone that knew Tom and John just assumed that they'd each be highly successful and that they'd be friends for life. And Tom and John, well, they thought so too. And why wouldn't they? They seemed to have it made, right? But as life would have it, fate threw them a cruel twist. And right before graduation, John's parents moved across the country and they took John with them. Now, this was before social media, and it was when, long distance calls were only something that you do on Sunday night because that's when they were affordable. So John and Tom figured they'd probably lose touch, but they vowed that no matter what else happened, they would meet each other in their favorite park on their 40th birthday. And today, well, today was the day. So Tom and John met in the park nervously, and today, they looked nothing alike. In fact, the difference between them was startling. Tom was an easy 50 pounds heavier than John. He looked 10 years older too. Tom was balding, he had a big pot belly, and when he moved, it looked like it hurt. He looked meek. Tom was a shell of his former self. He didn't look like the confident all-star quarterback he was 22 years before. But what about the star receiver, John? Well, John, on the other hand, still looked a lot like he did in high school. He was still lean and athletic looking. He looked strong and confident and capable. But the physical differences between Tom and John were just the tip of the iceberg. John, well, he was a successful business owner, but he wasn't one of those run-ragged business owners who let the business run him. He had balance. He had plenty of money and plenty of time to enjoy life too. Tom, on the other hand, well, he was a low-level manager who spent his days in a cubicle. And unlike John, he never seemed to have enough money to make ends meet. He worked like a dog for his company, but he had very little to show for it. John just celebrated his 10th wedding anniversary. His wife was a true partner in his life, and she was his best friend too. Tom, of course, he was going through a painful divorce after being married for just 3 years. Today, Tom and John are so very different. And this meeting was nothing like either of them had expected 22 years ago when they vowed to meet. They'd assumed that they'd just tell each other about all their successes and all their wonderful adventures in life. Instead, John had all the stories of success and adventure, while Tom, he had only had a long line of mediocrity and even embarrassing failures. John had it all: money, freedom, and great health and great relationships. Tom, well, he barely eked out an existence. He was a virtual slave to his company, and he was trying to start over in the dating world at 40. Now, hearing the story of John and Tom today, which would you rather be, John or John? Well, obviously, most of us would rather be John, which leads me to the real question. If John and Tom were so alike 22 years ago, if they were both blessed with smarts and good look and supportive parents, if both had the world by the tail, what the heck happened? Why was John so successful and Tom so mediocre at best? I want you to think about that question right now. In fact, why don't we do this? Let's just take a moment to write down your answer. And what do you think? What do you think was the difference between Tom and John? Really, just take some time and write down why you think John was successful and Tom was not. I'm going to wait. Just take a moment to write down. Why was it? What was the difference? Why was one so much more successful than the other? What's the reason? Okay, I hope you wrote something down here. And I appreciate you doing that exercise, because I'm going to share with you exactly the difference between John and Tom. But my guess is that it's not what you've got written down. Okay, so I'm going to share the real reason in a minute. But right now, I'd just like for you to imagine something. Imagine waking up, well, in the most comfortable bed you've ever slept in. And you look over at your sleeping partner and you smile. It's another special day with your best friend. You look out the window and the view is perfect. On one side, you've got a beach so beautiful you swear you're in the Caribbean. And on the other side, well, you've got lush rolling hills, beautiful green hills. Now imagine that you have, well, nothing at all that you have to do that day, even though it's a Tuesday. And while the rest of the world schleps off to some work that they hate, you've got the day wide open to do whatever you want to do. Really imagine that sense of freedom. Imagine the stress leaving you as you are filled with freedom and abundance, both financially and emotionally. Imagine standing tall, proud of the position in life that you have achieved. Now, wouldn't that feel great? Is that not the kind of life that you would love to live? Sure, that would be nice, but guess what? That is a stark contrast from what most people feel every day. In fact, if you're like most people that I meet, you might not even be close, not even close to where you thought you'd be in life by this time. Maybe you don't have enough money to live the life that you'd like to live and do the things that you'd love to do. Maybe you've got aches and pains that are constantly nagging at your body, or your body just won't do what it used to do, and you know what? It's disappointing. Or maybe the primary relationships in your life, maybe they've gone stale, or maybe they're even on the verge of collapse. Whatever it is that's missing in your life, I can tell you that you are not alone. And I can also tell you that it's almost certainly not your fault, at least not intentionally. It's not your fault because whether you realize it or not, you have been programmed for mediocrity. Programmed for mediocrity. And that might sound a little harsh, but as I'm about to show you, it is a fact. You see, modern society has conspired to keep us a cog. What's the word? A cog in the giant wheel of life. The good news is undoing this programming is actually simple. The first step is realizing that the programming is there in the first place. And once you do, you know what? The rest is easy. And the rewards are priceless. What's the word? Priceless. Now, does that sound something worth learning? Because if you're serious about life, I sure hope you said yes. I call the difference between where you are now and where you'd like to be the desire gap. The desire gap. That's the gap between what you have and what you really want in life. Again, what you have and what you really want in life. For most people, well, that involves money. But I'm also talking about health and relationships and happiness as well. The space between what your life looks like at this exact moment in time and what you'd like it to be if everything was perfect. Well, that's the desire gap. What's it called? The desire gap. It's a gap between where you are and where you want to be financially, and in your relationships, and in your health, and in your happiness. Yes and yes. My friends, by the time you finish this presentation today, you are going to clearly see the desire gap in your own life. And more importantly, you'll understand exactly how to close that gap, good or great. Now, let's get back to Tom and John. Well, you may have guessed that John was able to close the desire gap while Tom, well, he wasn't. But you probably still might not know why. The answer lies in the three. How many? 3 secrets that I'm going to share with you right now. Let's talk about secret number 1. Secret number 1 is something I've already hinted at. It's that society is actually set up to keep us mediocre. What do I mean by that? Have you ever had something really great happen in your life? Maybe you meet a new special someone. Maybe you get a job promotion. Maybe your business takes a giant leap forward. If you've had anything like that happen, you might actually notice that people are not quite as happy for you as you might have expected, even those closest to you. Well, you know, they're glad that you found the love of your life until that relationship takes up most of your time. They're glad that your business is doing well and you're making a lot more money until it means that you can start doing things that they themselves cannot afford to do. The truth is, when you achieve some success in life, many people around you, they become uncomfortable. What's the word? Uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable because they haven't achieved the same success. And they wonder what's wrong with them. They think that if you can do it, they should be able to do it too. But yet they haven't. And that hurts their self-esteem. And they even become afraid. So generally, people would rather you stay at their level. That makes them feel better about who? Themselves. And the weird thing is that even though they may care for you, they'll still subconsciously, what's the word? Subconsciously try and keep you at their level. It's really odd, but it's true. And unfortunately, it happens even with spouses and kids and parents too. So that's the first secret. Deep down, many of the people in your life would rather you stay average. And they'll sabotage you so you'll stay at their level, even if they don't realize that they're doing it. It takes a lot of inertia to escape this gravitational pull to stay mediocre. Yes or yes? Okay, that's secret number one. And just understanding this secret can begin to help you close that desire gap. What do you think? Is it remotely possible your coworkers, friends, and even some of your family might want you to stay at their level? Even if you don't realize it now, once you really reflect about this, I really think that you might agree it's probably true. Again, they don't do it to hurt you. They're just afraid of losing you and afraid of what their lack of success might mean for their own lives. Okay, are you ready to move to secret number two? I hope so, because that's what we're going to do. Here we go. Secret number two is that everything in life is a choice. What's the word? Choice. Now, of course, that might seem obvious, but allow me to explain. We all know people that act like victims, yes or yes. They blame their parents for all their troubles, or that teacher in high school, or their spouse, or their boss, or their business. They blame everybody but themselves. And they don't seem to realize that it was their choices, what's the word? Choices that brought them to this point in their lives in the first place. True or true? You've probably heard about this victim mentality before. I've taught it many, many times. But let's just dig a little deeper on this power of choice. Say somebody says something that hurts one's feelings. A lot of people will snap back immediately. And even though they may feel bad afterwards, they'll say that they couldn't help it, that it was a reflex, it was a reaction that they couldn't help. Has that ever happened to you? Where you've reacted in a way that you weren't very proud of afterwards? If so, deep down, you know you can help it. You see, between the time that something happens to you, like a loved one saying something harsh maybe, and your reaction, there is a small space in time. Sometimes it's the littlest of space. And whether you realize it or not, in that space, you have a, here comes the big word, choice. A choice as to how you will react. It's true in every area of your life. When something bad happens, big or small, you have a choice, what's the word, as to how you deal with it. You choose whether you let something drag you down or lift you up. And when you truly understand this, it is very, very powerful. Yes or yes? Now, let's say you get fired or laid off, or your business, it goes bankrupt. How will you deal with it? Will you wallow in pity? Will you talk about how much your life sucks and how unfair everything is? Will you turn to endless hours on social media or mindless television, or worse, to drugs or alcohol for relief? Or will you look at your newfound freedom as an opportunity? What's the word? An opportunity, and be excited about what's to come. Actually, you know what? Let's just step back a little. Is it possible there were warning signs that you might have missed about all this? I mean, if we're honest, we know that no jobs are secure these days. And while you have more control with your own business, if you don't do it right, if you don't do your business right, well, you know it could fail too. So deep down, you might have a nagging suspicion that bad times could actually be ahead. And if you do realize that, you're making a choice. What's the word? A choice. Even if you do nothing, you're either choosing to wait and see what happens to you, or you are taking charge by doing something proactive. If you're in a job, wouldn't it make sense to possibly start a business on the side? If you're already a business owner, wouldn't it make sense to make some substantial changes if you think that there could be some troubles ahead? It's common sense. Yet, most people, either they don't realize that they have a choice in what happens to them, or they know they have a choice, but they choose, what's the word? They choose to do nothing. Imagine the heartache of foreseeing your job or business come to a screeching halt, or to foresee your marriage come to a bad end, or to watch your health plummet, and you chose to do nothing about it? How difficult would it be to live with that? The truth is, everything you do in life, whether you're proactive or reactive, is a choice. And all you have to do is recognize it and then exercise your choice muscle. I call it a muscle because it really is like a muscle. We get better at using our power of choice the more we use it. Let me say that again. We get better at using our muscle, our power of choice, the more we use it. Now, did you notice how secret 1 and secret 2 go together? Secret 1 is that the world is subconsciously set up for you to stay mediocre. And by recognizing that and by using secret number 2, the power of choice, we can break free. Very powerful. Yes or yes. So powerful, in fact, that secret 1 and secret 2 could help you bridge the desire gap all by themselves. But it is the third secret. What secret? The third one that will seal the deal. Secret number 3 is that you're going to need to spend the rest of your life, protecting your mindset. Let me repeat that. Protecting, shielding your mindset. And I wish I could really go deep into this, but it's a short presentation. But the truth is, I could write a whole book on the topic of mindset. And not only could I write a book, I did write a book. You may have heard about my book since it was the #1 New York Times bestseller. It's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And I spend that whole book talking about the power of mindset. As I was saying, mindset is everything. And secret number 2, the power of choice, is really about mindset as well. But most people are surprised to discover that working on their mindset is not, I repeat, it is not a one-time thing. I wish it was, but it is not. You have to manage your mindset for the rest of your life. Yes or yes? Does that actually surprise you? You know what? It surprised me when I first realized it. I thought that when I had made it, I'd be done. I looked at success in life like it was a mountain to climb. I thought that once I got to the top, there was nothing left to do in that arena. But you know what? I've since discovered, as you might have too, life is just not that simple. Life is always what? Changing. What's the word? Changing. That's what keeps it fun too. And it would be pretty boring if everything stayed the same all the time. And it'd also be pretty impossible, true or true. And so the very fact that life is always changing, what's the word? Changing, is why taking care of your mindset is a never-ending challenge. It doesn't happen on its own, though. You have to consciously choose, what's the word? Choose to cultivate a strong, confident, optimistic mindset. And that choice happens, my friends, on a moment to moment to moment basis for the rest of your life. Yes or yes? Okay, so those are my 3 secrets in a nutshell. If you realize that the world's natural state is mediocrity, and you also realize that success and failure in life is your choice, and you realize that you have to constantly maintain a healthy mindset, there is nothing, what's the word? Nothing you cannot achieve, good or great. And this brings us back to our story about John and Tom. You see, Tom let the rest of the world hold him back. When bad things happened to him, he blamed others. He blamed his bosses for not promoting him. He blamed his wife for leaving him. And he blamed the economy for a business venture that ultimately failed. Tom had a poor mindset, and he did nothing to improve it. And over the years, guess what? It got worse and worse and worse. And by the way, that's what tends to happen. Once you let weeds grow in the garden, it's very hard to stop them from taking over. True or true? Well, John, on the other hand, he realized these secrets early on. He realized that success or failure in life was up to him. Sure, life dealt him setbacks, but John always rose to the occasion. He realized that it wasn't what life dealt him, it was how he handled what he was dealt. Yes or yes? And you can see the difference it made in John's life and how these secrets can make the difference in your life too. But you know what? Even as if when I'm saying these words, I'm kind of imagining a little bit that you might feel a little bit let down. And if that's the case, I understand. Over the years, I've taught thousands and thousands of people how to close the desire gap, to get what they really want in life. And while those people all learned these 3 secrets first, what they really wanted and needed was a set of exact steps, a specific plan, and real actions they could take to get them where they want to go. You see, most people, they can't simply internalize these secrets and change their lives because of it. They need more coaching to make it happen. And it's because I didn't want to leave these people hanging that I created my Life Makeover coaching program. It's truly helped thousands and thousands of people change their lives. So is it okay if I tell you just a little bit about the program now? I hope you said yes, if you are serious about success. My Life Makeover program is a step-by-step method. Again, a step-by-step method, a blueprint, so to speak, for closing the desire gap. It provides training to take the steps necessary to get everything you want in life. It also provides you with a coach. What's the word? A coach who'll keep you on track and accountable. When you listen to your coach and you follow the program, here's what happens. First, you'll make more money. Now, it's been a long time, but I have been poor and I've been rich too. And I can tell you without a doubt that life is a lot, what's the word? A lot better with money than without it. Way better, yes or yes? True. Money is, it's not the be all and end all. It doesn't make up for poor health or a failed marriage, but it makes life a lot easier. And it gives you more choices. What's the word? Choices, true or true. For instance, although I grew up in Toronto, Canada, it's a nice enough city for sure. But for half the year, it is cold, and I mean cold. So now I choose to live in Hawaii, where one half of the year is warm and beautiful, and the other half of the year is warm and beautiful. Plus, I love the island culture, and I just love the relaxed and the very happy vibe there. Everybody's happy there, so it's just easy to live there. And of course, you don't have to live in Hawaii to be happy, but for me, it sure helps. And you know what? I just simply couldn't live the life that I do without having plenty, and I mean plenty of money. So I want the same for you. And maybe living in Hawaii, well, maybe that's not your thing. I get it. But the key is to have the freedom of choice. Freedom of what? Choice. And that's why money is so important. And it's going to be a big focus of your program. Either way, the first thing your life makeover coach will do will be to help you work on your what and your why. It is absolutely critical that you really understand what you want to achieve and why you want to achieve it. After all, it's tough to hit a target you can't see, yes or yes. But you know what? It's even tougher to keep pursuing that target if you don't have a strong enough, what's the word? Strong enough reason why, true or true. And if you're like most people that I work with, you may not be crystal clear on what you want to achieve, let alone why you want to achieve it. And even though you might think you are clear, you know what? Most people that I experience, they're not really clear. And generally, the people that I work with, they end up creating much bigger whats when they see what's really possible for them. And they create much stronger whys when we help them uncover what's really important to them in the depths of their being and the depths of their heart. So this is a critical part of your coaching. It's the foundation that helps you develop a rock solid foundation that lets you make clear decisions and that allows you to rise above the mediocrity that most people are in. You now have grand goals and you have personally important reasons for achieving them. Sound good or good? From there, things get even more tangible in the program. The next thing your life makeover coach will do is work with you to develop your personal blueprint for success. Your blueprint for success is the personal strategy. Let me repeat that. The personal strategy you'll use to achieve your what and close your desire gap. When you set lofty goals, I think you might agree, it can be scary at first, yes or yes. But with a solid why and a step-by-step roadmap, a roadmap right in front of you, you'll see that having everything you want is simply a matter of putting one foot in front of the other and taking well thought out, very specific actions. But sometimes, you know what? The action steps, well, they trip people up. But you have to keep at it. And sometimes this new road, well, as we know, it can be a little scary, true or true. And that's why your life makeover coach will also be an accountability partner for you. They'll help you track your progress according to your blueprint for success. And you know what? If you're failing behind, they'll work with you to figure out why that's happening. Your coach is not, I repeat, they're not going to accept excuses like your own mind does. They know that success only comes if you work diligently to escape past mediocrity. They have one job and one job only, and that is to make absolutely sure you get what you want in your life, good or good. Of course, your coach is human too, and they understand that unavoidable things can come up in your life. So if you fall behind, your coach will be a support to help you get back up to speed. And if this seems pretty simple and straightforward, you know why? It's because it is. I mean, really, do you really think success should be all that difficult? I can tell you from my own personal experience and the experience of thousands of my students, that it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be difficult, and it doesn't have to be stressful. If you take the right path and you learn the right strategies and you have the right people helping you, it can actually be an incredibly joyful journey, good or great. So, success really boils down to understanding what you really want out of life. You. And understanding why you want that. And developing a solid action plan around that. And then executing those action steps. You know, it's actually so simple, you could possibly do it on your own. But as with every other facet of life, most people do a lot better with some help. True or true? Because on their own, most people get hung up on unimportant details, or even worse, they give up on themselves too soon. Or a lot of people, well, you know what? They set the wrong goals in the first place. I cannot tell you how many people that I've worked with personally that, you know, I say, well, okay, well, what do you want? And I'm listening to them and going, that doesn't even make any sense. It's A, completely vague, and B, it doesn't even sound like what you really want. And then I get into it further, and pretty soon it's not that at all. It was something completely different. Does any of this sound like you, maybe? Listen, you could try to climb Mount Everest alone too. You could do that. But what would be your chances of success? Here's the easy answer. Slim and none, and probably worse than that. Like dying trying? That's why nobody tries to climb to the top of that mountain alone. It is suicide, true? But they still want to get there, so what do? They hire an experienced what? Guide. What's the word? A guide. That's the easiest, fastest, safest, and only way to get to the summit. And knowing that is exactly why I created the Life Makeover program in the first place. And you could go on this journey alone. And unlike climbing Everest alone, you may not be facing almost certain death, but you are facing the death of your dreams and the prospect of living a life like Tom, living only a fraction of the life you could be living. So consider the Life Makeover coaching your Sherpa. Your what? Your Sherpa on the climb to success in every area of your life. One that will make your journey a lot easier. Yes or yes? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how the program works so you get a great idea about this. We found that the most effective way of working with a coach is in a close-knit group. So think of your group as your success team. Your personal life makeover coach will work with you directly, and they'll guide your entire team as well. In this way, not only will you have your coach's support, but the support and help of your entire team. And then, you know, at first it might seem a little bit strange, you know, sharing some of your goals and some of your challenges that come up with a team. But we found that everybody becomes close, super close. And each member of the team is rooting for you. You see, while a lot of other people in your life might unconsciously, as we said before, unconsciously try and drag you down, with a team of conscious, like-minded people who are all rowing in the same direction, it's just the opposite. Everybody tries to lift each other up. Plus, this is important now, you're going to get to hear other people's strategies and actions towards success. And that's going to give you what? New ideas to use for yourself. And you're going to get even more motivated when you hear your team's amazing results. You're going to go, hey, if Jack could do that, I could do that. My gosh. Finally, you're going to gain friendships and connections with others in your group that could easily lead to new projects, more business. Who knows? You might even meet that special someone. Yet, as great as this team coaching environment is, you're also going to be able to ask your coach questions about yourself, your personal goals, and your personal progress as you go through the program. And once you register for the program, you're going to choose dates and times that work for you, For who? For you. Then you're going to have one 60-minute group call each week. How many? One call per week. And I got to say, this system is, well, it's pretty brilliant in that we recognize there are parts of life that everybody needs to have in place and balance in their life, right? But at the same time, there are other parts of your life that will want to put more immediate attention on. You're going to want to put more attention on that, right? On those parts. Because, well, maybe you're having problems in that arena, or it's an arena of opportunity. So you want to put more attention there. Yes or yes. And you want to put on attention when? Now. It's needed now, right? So what do? The system, we work on both. And how do we do that? We alternate weeks. So every other week, we're going to cover one of the 8 total life balance categories that everyone needs to maintain at some level. Everybody needs that. And here are some of those essential categories. See if you agree that these are all important. Number 1, money and finance. Is that important? Yeah, I think so. Number 2, business and career. Number 3, your relationships, all your relationships. Number 4, health and wellness. Hey, no health, no wellness, none of it means anything, does it? Number 5, personal, spiritual, and professional development. Growing all the time in each area. Number 6, recreation and play. I mean, if you're not having fun, why bother in your life, right? Number 7, your personal environment. You know, Yogananda said this. He said, environment is stronger than willpower. And number 8, service and contribution. As you can see, every important area of your life is covered here. And your team will have a 60-minute call every other week covering one of these areas. And by the end of the 16 weeks, we'll have major improvement in every facet of your life. Good or good or good. So what do we do in the weeks between those calls, you might be asking? You're going to have a group call with your coach where you all work on your current priority category. Again, there's always, as I said earlier, one category in everybody's life that if they improved in that area, it would have the greatest positive impact on their lives as a whole. Yes or yes? Let me ask you this question. Have you heard this saying, let's go like, a rising tide lifts all boats? Something like that, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. The same is true here. If you fix your problem area or you focus on your biggest opportunity area, it tends to lift. What's the word? Lift all the other areas of your life at the same time. Yes or yes? And more importantly, you start to feel a lot better, a lot more confident, and a lot happier. True or true? So let me ask you this. What's one area in your life that if you improved it would help most other areas of your life too? Could be anything, but maybe it's money. That one seems to be the one area that most people want to zero in on first. After all, maybe by improving your finances, you have more time for fun and play, and your relationships and your health. So if money is the area that you could use the most help with, that's where we'll start. Good or good. Now, of course, it could just as easily be any of the other of the 7 life categories. Whatever your priority category is, that's specifically what you'll cover on your priority group coaching calls. And if you're like most people, your priority category will probably change. What's the word change? As you progress through the program. So let's say money is your biggest area for improvement at the start. That might change to say relationships or maybe even health partway through once you have the money stuff covered, once you're doing well again financially. Yes? Good or good? I think you get the idea here, right? Just trying to explain how this works so you know and you can get excited about this program. But really, we've kind of covered everything because we've done this for so many people and we know what works. I got to say that. So the top priority coaching calls every other week, they're designed to help you specifically where you need it most. Okay, so let's sum this up again. Keep it a nice little tight box here. There's 16, how many? 16 weeks of coaching in the program. Eight of those weeks will be calls where your team covers each of the life balance categories that I shared above with your life makeover coach, right? That's who you were sharing with, obviously. And the other 8 weeks, well, they're going to be team calls where you all work on your top priority category, yours specifically. Now, I think you understand that by itself, just getting coached, well, that's not going to get you where you want to go. The main thing is, you all know in the real world that you're going to need to take what? Action as well. And you know what? This program really puts an emphasis on action. Action in the real world to get you real results. Yes or yes? In fact, you're going to be asked to take action every single week. But don't worry, you're not going to be overwhelmed with things to do. Each week, you'll commit to doing just 3. How many? 3 simple action steps. And they will be simple enough that anybody will have the time to do these 3 steps. Now, do you think you can commit to just 3 simple, easy action steps a week? Now, if you said no, do you see how your life might be out of balance right now? You see how that could be the fact if you can't even do 3, okay? All right. Let's get grounded here. Let's tell it like it really is, okay? If you think you cannot afford the time for 3 simple, easy, doable actions a week, then either your mind is not supporting you or your life may be way more out of balance than you even realize. True. Now, for a lot of you, 3 action steps a week doesn't sound like a whole lot, but this is where it gets interesting and exciting and incredible. What did I say before? The program is how many weeks? It's 16 weeks. That's called one cycle of coaching. And some people, well, they choose to take multiple cycles. That's because they've taken the approach of constant and never-ending improvement in their lives. And you might decide to do that too. But for now, the program is simple. It's a 1 16-week cycle. That's it. And that means it takes 16 weeks or a little less than 4 months to complete this cycle. So that's how long the initial program is going to be. As I mentioned, you're going to choose 3 simple, doable, easy actions per week. Now, here's a question. Watch this. Now multiply that over 16 weeks and you now have done how many actions? 48. 48 simple, doable, easy actions. Yes or yes? I want you to take a moment now to really grasp this, please. Can you imagine the effect of 48 new actions on the most important areas of your life, how that would have an effect on your life? It is, from my experience in watching all these heal, it is crazy. Your life could improve so much over those 16 weeks that your current life would be barely recognizable. Yes or yes? And it sounds hard to believe, but it is true. And I've seen it happen with thousands of my own students already. And when you reach the registration page, by the way, you'll see for yourself the first-hand accounts of many of those students and what's happened for them in their lives. It's extraordinary, but that's what happens for people when they follow this, what people call brilliant blueprint for total success. And you know what? Best of all, it can happen for you. Okay, so that's the Life Makeover Coaching Program in a nutshell. And I hope that you are truly excited by the possibilities for yourself and your life, because I'm excited for you. Of course, you might be wondering what the investment in this program is going to be. You know what? That's a good and it's a very practical question. The truth is that this program will change your life in ways that you cannot even imagine right now. And for that reason, it's priceless. The program is truly worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And these are the same strategies, by the way, that we use with high-level business executives that pay us a minimum of $1,000 a month, usually much, 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 much more. But if you're a lot like a lot of other people, there might not be an extra $1,000 in the budget every month for you right now. And that's okay. Because with our coaching, soon there will be, good or good. Regardless, my intention is to help more people. I like helping a lot of people. It's nice to help one at a time, and some people do that, but I love helping more people, large groups, big amounts of people. And so I like to keep the program more affordable. And I asked my team, I asked them what they thought would be a no-brainer investment for them if they were to get into the program, if they were to buy the program. And they came back with, well, it would be amazing if we could somehow find a way to offer this program at $297 a month so that everybody could afford it. And I said to them, that would be a definitely awesome deal, but I'm not actually sure I agree with the last part, that everyone could still afford it at $297 a month. Because you see, for me, it's not about the money. I'm blessed not to need any more money at this point in my life, and that's just unbelievably amazing, okay? In fact, I could actually give away this coaching program for free. Would you believe, though, that if I gave you the program for free, I would actually be doing you a disservice? Do you think people value something that they get for nothing? You might have noticed that people who get stuff for free often don't value it highly. Free advice often gets what? Ignored. Even if it's solid, even if it's true. Yes or yes? The fact is, if you invest in something, you take it more seriously, yes? And there's a far greater chance then that you'll follow through with it too. And that follow through is what's important. Yes or what? Yes. So with all of that in mind, I decided to put the tuition for this 16-week life makeover program, not at $297 per month, but at a one-time investment of just $297 for the whole thing, all 4 months. That's less than $20 a week for a coaching program that will totally change your life and take you to an entirely new level, good or good. Most people's car payment is bigger than that. Let me ask you this, isn't improving every area of your life worth more than one single car payment? I'm sure you'll agree that the tuition for this coaching program is more than a bargain. And even still, I know that not everybody can afford even that small investment. I understand. And for those of you who know my story, you know that at one point I was there myself. So when you click the button below to register for the program, you'll be able to spread even that small tuition out over the 4 months too. My intention is to make it super easy for just about anybody to get started. Yes or yes. With the low tuition and the ability to spread it out over 4 months, I really don't see how anyone who is serious, and that's the key, serious about their life, serious about success, can pass it up. But you know what? I'd love to be able to sweeten the pot even more for you. If you show that you're an action taker, what's the words? Action taker. If you're one of the first 200 people to register for the Life Makeover program, I'd like to coach you personally as well. Now, as you might know, I'm mostly retired. And I say mostly because I still love to help and support others. And I still love teaching. But at this stage in my life, I just don't do it as much as I used to. And really, it's quite rare for me to commit to doing something like this. But I do feel compelled to support other people. It's part of my makeup. I just love doing that. And life's been good to me. And I want the very same for you. It's important for me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you at no charge 4 months. How many months? 4 months of my Tough Love mentoring program as a gift. And you know what? It's a real gift. This program is one that I routinely charge $1,000 a month for. But you're going to get it for free if you're one of the first 200 people to register for the Life Makeover program today. Now, let me just quickly explain how the Tough Love mentoring program works. So once a month, for each of the 4 months, I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to do live, what's the word? Live 90-minute coaching call with you and your success team. You're going to be able to ask me questions on any area of your life, and you're going to be able to get my help directly. Now, I routinely charge $20,000 a day for getting on stage and coaching. And as I said, my Tough Love Mentoring program sells every day for $1,000 a month. So to have this added to your investment today for free, well, that really is something special, yes or yes. Does that make your decision a simple one? Again though, this bonus is only available to the first 200 people to register in the Life Makeover coaching program. That's because there's only what? Space for 200 more people on the coaching calls. That's very simple, right? So if you're serious, I want to repeat that. This has to land for you. Because some people are just talkers, some people are just thinkers, some people they just yak and think, but they're not serious. But if you're serious about your success, and you are excited to get started and let us start with you and put you on track and keep you on track, even sometimes force you to be on track, and you want to make sure that you get the bonus coaching with me directly, just click the button below right now to register your spot. When you do, you'll be taken to a secure order form. You'll be able to choose to either make the one-time tuition investment of $297 or spread it out over 4 months instead. As soon as you register, you're going to receive the information that you need to get started with right away. But if you want to make sure that you're one of the first 200 to get the bonus 4 months of my Tough Love Mentoring program, you need to register right now before all those spots are gone. So simply click the Register Now button below. Oh, and might it be okay if I give you yet another bonus? Yes or yes. When you choose to make this single $297 investment, or you choose to spread the tuition out, you're going to be grandfathered into the coaching at that tuition price forever. Here's how that works. When you register today, your tuition is going to auto-renew every 4 months. So while others are paying $1,000 a month or more for the same program, you're always going to stay at $297 for the 4 months, the whole 4 months price. Once you join, you'll be given customer support contact information. And you'll be able to, if you want to, easy cancel the auto renew if that's what you choose. And that's fine. You know what? Most people find the training so valuable that many never stop. They've been in it since the beginning and they're still in it now. And they're going up and up and up and up because they love continuing to work on their life and improving every area of their life. And you might be the same. But if you want to cancel, you're just going to be able to do that very quickly. Okay. So go ahead and click the Register Now button below or beside this video to make sure that you get the bonus Tough Love Mentoring program. Now, there's one last thing I need you to know. Your investment in my Life Makeover program is totally covered by our risk-free guarantee. Here's how that works. You register for the program today. Then you take a full 30 days. How many days? 30 days to develop your blueprint for success. Attend the calls. Take your action steps. Begin closing where you actually see you're closing that desire gap right in front of you. And if at any time during those first 30 days you feel that the program isn't right for you, for any reason, we're going to give you your money back. I know this program works. I know that it works. So the odds of this happening are basically zero. But I also want you to feel comfortable and know that you're not risking your investment in any way. So with that in mind, go ahead and click the Register Now button below while the bonus Tough Love Mentoring is still available. So go ahead and do that now, please. And if you're still here, the way I see it right now, you have two choices. First, you could simply close out this presentation and walk away. And when you do that, of course, well, nothing's going to change. So if money's been a struggle for you, it's probably going to continue to be a struggle for you. If your relationships or your health are suffering, what's changing? Nothing. They're likely to continue. You're likely to continue to suffer in those arenas. But more than that, as the axiom goes, if you're not growing, you're dying. Let me say that again. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not going up, you're going down. In other words, if you don't do something about it, many areas of your life could actually get worse. And your desire gap that's there now, that's here, instead of narrowing with the coaching, it can grow wider and wider and wider and wider. Now, it's never too late to start down the path of improving your life. But because we are creatures of habit, you know what? It gets harder every year. Every year you go by. Have you noticed that? As we get older, it gets tougher to bounce back like it was when we were younger. Don't you think it would be better to take the right action now before you get any older? And that's the other choice you have. You can choose to register for the program today. When you do, you'll immediately be on the path to improving every area, every important area of your life, starting with solving your biggest problem or the one area that will lift all the others. Just 4 months. 4 months from now, your life will have changed completely and for the better. You're more calm, you're more peaceful, you're more happy, you're more confident, and you're in control. You are loving life, and you see each day as a blessing instead of a challenge. Remember the scene we talked about earlier, where you wake up on a Tuesday with nothing scheduled, but spending time maybe with your partner, where money is no longer an object, and you're really, really totally free? Well, you know what? That might not all happen in 4 months, but I can tell you for certain that at the very least, you're going to be a lot closer to your dream life. And the next 4 months, well, you know what? It's going to pass by anyways. Wouldn't you rather be squarely on the path to finally having the life you really, really want? If you are serious about having the best life possible, the decision is clear, especially given the low tuition, the risk-free guarantee, and the bonus tough love mentoring. Okay? So it's time to choose whether you want to have a life like John or a life like Tom. If you want to close the desire gap fast, click the Register Now button below to get started right away. I can't wait to see you inside, and I can't wait to share with you and for you to share with me how your life has improved in just 16 short weeks. Thank you so much for joining me today. I honor you for your commitment to learn and to grow.